So, I heard that Rousseau took credit for everything. You must be disappointed.
I'm just glad the patient's okay.
He's an excellent doctor, although rather shrewd at times. And I would never trust him to operate on me. That's why I summoned you here, Marcus. You have a rare talent.
I didn't want to come back.
I'm aware of that. Regardless, we'll meet tomorrow to discuss my operation. The procedure is scheduled for 4 days from now. I'll leave you to choose your team.
Okay.
So, you're finally going to tell us, huh, Professor?
I led you all to believe that I was suffering from a chronic heart disease. But now that my preparations are complete, I will reveal the true nature of my illness.
Is it stigma, just like the beginning of the thing said?
Dr. Rousseau is on the team too?
Yeah, but he won't be operating.
What I am asking you all to do is treat an unknown disease. Yes, I'm asking you to face the unknown.
An unknown disease?
By certain means, I received a mouse with an unprecedented illness. It was a pathogen born as a result of gene-related medical research. I isolated it, analyzed it, and became deeply interested in it, despite my initial fears. It was such a unique disease.
Curiosity, man's greatest weakness.
Dr. Vaughn?
Never mind.
As a member of the medical community, I immediately realized the importance of this discovery. And so I began researching the disease. But before I could complete my research, I myself became infected. Its communicability between animals and humans was quite a surprise.
It's a tragedy for us all, Professor. It breaks my heart to learn of your infection.
What was the means of transmission?
It's too late to ascertain now, but it must have occurred while I was researching it. I may have accidentally pricked myself with a needle. My hands aren't as steady as they once were. I don't believe it is highly communicable, but we should still be careful. One thing is for certain. It's not an airborne disease.
And what about your condition? You seem to be rather stable right now, Professor.
I do have some data which I collected during my experiments. It's dormant at the moment, but it becomes active when the carrier experiences stress. Its invasiveness is quite strong, and it's at least as serious, if not worse, than an acute virus or a parasite invasion.
So this operation must be performed right away. That's why you selected us.
Yes, it is a new disease, so as you may suspect, no medication or vaccine is available yet. Extraction is the only viable option.
Dr. Vaughn, this is a serious responsibility.
Indeed. This disease manifests itself in mysterious ways. I've tentatively named it stigma. We will refer to it by this name for now, but please keep this information confidential. I will also grant you access to my research data, but you are only permitted to read through it.
Infected accidentally? That can't be. That's not its nature. The professor's hiding something.
Foregoing your meditation today? Don't allow this disease to trouble you. Just accept that it's beyond your comprehension.
Should someone with your condition be up at this hour?
I have one more favor to ask of you. That's why I'm here.
I'll save your life. What more do you want?
If for some reason the operation is a failure, then I want you to destroy all my research concerning stigma.
What?
This is to be my research, and mine alone, whether or not the operation is successful. You should have no objections to this. After all, Wasn't it your wish 3 years ago that it all disappear? Well then, I bid you good luck.
I've taken a look at the data, but
That makes two of us.
the pathogen's mobility is simply who knows what kind of damage it's capable. Based on the data, it's unlikely that medication will be effective. So our only...
Burn it with the laser. That's the only way.
Has there been any change in the professor's condition?
He's still stable. He should have enough strength to endure the operation.
If the professor's data is accurate, then this research will make mistakes cannot be made. I presume you understand that.
Relax. We've got it under control.
An unknown pathogen. This should be interesting.
Alright, let's see what we can do here.
We're ready to begin the based on what we know, we expect that Stigma will please be extremely careful. Lacerations? But we didn't see any on the CAT scan.
Are you suggesting that the pathogen did this within the last few moments?
We need to suture the wounds immediately and try to prevent any further damage.
Well done, Doctor. But please keep an eye out for the pathogen. There it is.
My God, look at it.
All right, let's do this. Get the laser ready.
It's working. Keep using the laser.
It's tearing up his insides. I can't believe this.
You did it! Stigma's gone.
Marvelous! The professor will be...
Wait, he's not stabilizing. We better take another look.
Stigma again. But how? It's still active. Keep using the laser. His vitals are dropping. You have to suture the wounds or they'll hemorrhage. You may need to hit it more than once. Vitals have dropped? I'll stop it. One down, one to go. Again? They fused together?
Well, it can't have changed that much. The laser should still work.
The laser seems to be working.
A little easier when it's huge.
Hurry up and suture those lacerations before it causes more damage.
vitals have dropped?
Is that it? His vitals are stabilizing. Please suture the remaining wounds, and then we can close him up.
We don't have much time.
That was truly a menacing organism. I must begin analyzing the data immediately.
Congratulations, you did it!
It was my responsibility.
Is something wrong, Marcus?
No, nothing. I should just be thankful that it went well.
I'm glad his body withstood the operation. At this rate, it seems he'll make a full recovery. Still, that was a daunting procedure.
I can't believe that such a disease exists. And that we were able to treat it.
I hope this is the last we see of it, though.
I must say, this stigma is certainly an intriguing disease. Doctors around the world will be astounded.
Oh, he's awake.
Professor, can you hear me?
Yes. I'm fully conscious.
The operation was a success. All the pathogens were removed. And your heart is functioning normally.
It was a complicated procedure, but we were able to complete it. Being operated on while you still had your strength should speed your recovery.
Well, Professor, congratulations on the success of your operation.
Thank you.
That stigma is quite a remarkable disease. I never imagined such an insidious pathogen could exist. It amazes me each time I watch the recording of the operation.
Recording? Rousseau, I thought I made myself clear. I only gave you permission to read through the existing data.
Yes, that's true, but I thought perhaps...
My orders are absolute. Or are you scheming to steal my research?
Don't be silly, Professor. I'm completely loyal to...
I want everything in this room. That includes any recordings and extracted organisms. I won't have them where I... Oh!
Well, high stress, huh?
Professor, please. You must stay calm.
Dr. Rousseau, can't whatever you have to discuss with Professor Wilkins wait until later?
Yes, well then, please excuse me, Professor.
Please. I'd like to be alone for a while. Don't worry. I won't overexert myself.
Then we'll return later to explain your status.
Yes. Thank you.
We don't have a sample or any data. So how do you intend to study stigma, Marcus?
Are you just going to pretend it doesn't exist?
No self-respecting doctor would admit the existence of such a thing, outside of a sci-fi movie.
That's only because they lack the knowledge.
Oh, really?
Do you recall the incident that occurred 10 years ago? A deadly man-made infectious disease spread throughout the world. It was known as guilt.
That's the one I handled on the DS version.
Now that you mention it, I do remember that. Is there a connection between guilt and stigma?
Most likely not. The professor has already tested that vaccine on it. It had absolutely no effect.
I guess I can see why Rousseau's so intrigued by it. If he was the one to announce it to the world, he'd become the most renowned doctor in medical history.
You know he's going to. I mean, you have the recording and everything.
Dr. Vaughn, Dr. Blaylock, 2 patients have been added to each of your schedules.
Aren't these Rousseau's patients?
Yes, but he's very busy.
Looks like I better get used to being sleep deprived.
It seems Professor Wilkins is on the road to wellness.
But how long will it take for him to fully recover?
The professor's a lot tougher than he looks, you know.
Dr. Rousseau must be hoping he resigns, or at least relinquishes some of his authority.
I heard another hospital has been courting him as well. He's had a lot of visitors lately.
Perhaps he's going to take up a position as a lecturer somewhere. I envy him.
He's the talk of the entire hospital.
Yeah, even though the voice actor doesn't do a very good job of separating his voice from the main Marcus that he's actually using the voice for. That was pretty bad.
Oh, but he's not the only one.
Meaning what exactly?
I've heard from more than one source that someone will be paying you two a visit soon as well. Maybe Professor to-be Rousseau will let you know about it.
That's not really my idea of a promotion.
Well, I'm calling it quits for today. Hopefully tomorrow won't be as stressful.
What about the professor's charts?
He's been updating them himself. It is top secret after all. Speak of the devil. He's paging us. I wonder what he wants.
He didn't mention anything to me. Is that the fire alarm?
Something must have happened. We better go check on the professor. Oh no!
Help! That man's on fire! We have to help him!
Be careful, Marcus!
Drop to the floor! Hurry! Valerie, isn't there a fire extinguisher around?
Doctor, stand aside!
Quick thinking, Elena.
Someone. Professor Wilkins and Stigma.
Russo, is that you?
And then set fire.
Hang in there. We're going to get you some help.
He's been badly burned. His life is in danger.
I'll get something to transport him with.
Thank you, Elena. Get the OR ready, too.
The patient is suffering from burns all over his body, concentrated on the left side. Some of them are 3rd-degree burns, I'm afraid. The burned area covers over 20% of his body. He's in extremely critical condition. We'll have to use skin grafts. I suggest that we transplant skin from the right half of his body, which has fewer burns.
If we can't use synthetic skin, then that's our only option.
If we inject culture fluids, we'll be able to avoid further damage.
Since we'll be working on 3rd-degree burns, I've prepared some coolants as well. I've said this already, but he's in critical condition. Please, we have to hurry.
Right, let's get started. These burns are pretty severe. Skin grafts are the only option. We'll have to remove skin from elsewhere before we can begin treating the burns.
All right, I'll get the culture fluid ready for you. You'll have to inject it into the right side of his body, where the skin isn't burned. The culture is taking effect. Please use the scalpel to remove a section of the epidermis.
Once we're ready to transfer the donor skin, we'll do so using the forceps.
He'll most likely need several grafts, so we should collect enough tissue before starting. Let's look for other unburnt areas and follow the same procedure.
The most severe burns have already turned black. We'll need to excise this necrotic tissue.
Are you prepared to begin debridement? I'll get the coolant ready.
Wasn't this all supposed to happen in the briefing? You're talking too damn much.
Please inject it directly into the blackened tissue. You have to inject the culture fluid into a part that hasn't been burned. You can't keep moving a piece of donor skin around. You'll have to get the coolant. The coolant seems to be working. The affected area is bleeding now. Please try to place the donor skin before the wound hemorrhages again. You can place the excised tissue on the tray. The area has been debrided. It looks like this area is going to need more than one piece of tissue. Drain the blood first, then prepare another piece of tissue for grafting. The coolant seems to be working. Now, use the scalpel to excise the dead tissue. You can place the area's been debrided, so you can proceed to drain the blood. Vitals have dropped? The donor skin before the wound hemorrhages again. It looks like this area is going to need more than one piece of tissue. We've covered the burned area. We are done with this area. Let's go on to another burn. The coolant won't be effective unless you inject it directly into the blackened area. Vitals have dropped? Keep it up. You have to inject the culture fluid into a part that hasn't been burned. Vitals have dropped? A piece of donor skin around. We'll have to get another piece.
Almost done.
There's not much time. We have to hurry.
We completed the treatment.
Finally!
Work, team.
Fucking bullshit, man. Holy shit, that was tough. Probably half of the stuff I did is like dead, huh? Goodness gracious, man. I mean, I was having a really hard time. I had to... Like, the secret to this stage is knowing when to use the damn... touch or whatever. So I'm just sitting there like, hello? Let's see.
The professor's office is nothing but ashes. Fortunately, no one seems to have been inside. But the professor's whereabouts are unknown, and we have reason to believe the data was stolen. According to what Russo said, the professor seems to have been kidnapped. What did the detectives ask you?
Same things they asked you. What did I see when I arrived at the scene? Did I notice anything suspicious? You know, the usual. Oh, they also asked about the professor's condition. I didn't say anything about stigma, for now. They wouldn't understand anyway.
I can't believe he was kidnapped. What's their motive? They obviously want more than just a ransom.
What's gonna happen to this hospital? What about us? The media's gonna be all over this incident. We won't have time to examine our patients.
Dr. Blaylock, Dr. Vaughn, there's someone here to see you.
If it's another investigator, then forget it.
Actually, it's the director of Caduceus.
What?
Long time no see. Regarding what happened the other day, you have my sympathy.
Thanks.
How can we help you?
It's a little complicated, so I'll get right to the point. After seeing the two of you in action, I negotiated with the hospital to have you both transferred to our staff.
You're recruiting us?
That was the plan, but circumstances have changed.
So what does that mean?
Dr. Vaughn, Dr. Blaylock, by the authority of the federal government, I hereby order your immediate transfer to Caduceus.
The authority of the federal government?
The decision was made based on the research we believe Professor Wilkins was performing. As skilled doctors and colleagues of the professor, we require your expertise in the U.S. branch of Caduceus. We'll do our best to accommodate any staff member requests you may have.
I can't believe it. We're going to Caduceus.
Alright.